Welcome to another MHSAA Championship edition of State Champs on the State Champs Sports Network. I'm your host, Lauren Plant, and these are the boys and girls lacrosse state finals. On both sides of the coin, we had contenders very familiar with competing for and winning state championships. Get ready for comprehensive highlights from both divisions, and we begin our coverage in Division 2. For the girls, a third-time finalist hoping that's the charm, up against a five-time champion looking to kickstart another dynastic run.
Here we go, the Division 2 Girls Lacrosse State Final out at Novi High School. East Grand Rapids in the state finale for the 7th time in 8 years. They took out the two-time defending state champs Cranbrook in the semifinals to get here. As for the Marion Mustangs, back in the state championship for the first time since 2015 when they were in Division 1. They edge out Okemos in the semis 15-13 and is in search for the school's first ever MHSAA Girls Lacrosse state title.
7 months to get here. 7 months. You've sacrificed time, energy, and a lot of other things for this one day. All right? Make this a day you remember.
Win or lose, you keep your spirits up. You're behind, we come back. All right? Never, ever give up. We got the game. Let's go.
East Grand Rapids led by the offensive attack of Mary Schumar and Audrey Whiteside all season. A combined 218 goals coming into the state championship game. The senior Schumar had 87 of those goals. Here getting the pass in front and putting it into the back of the net. East Grand Rapids out to a 4-0 lead. Back comes Marion a minute and a half later as they net the next 2 goals. Sydney Collins feeds it to Maura Mustin, and she would go top shelf for the goal. Marion now trails by 2 at 4-2. But the Pioneers would answer just 18 seconds later. Lucy Kavanaugh passes the pill to Whiteside, who puts in her 3rd goal of the game. The Pioneers would score 13 of the last 15 goals to close out the half. Josie Meny gets in on the scoring. East Grand Rapids was up 18-4 as we went into halftime. Marion trying to make the early push in the second half. Mia Hanawa would score her 2nd on the contest. But it would be too much East Grand Rapids on this afternoon. It's Schumar once again. She had 7 goals in the game. Whiteside would finish her senior season with 139 goals. That placed her 3rd in the MHSAA record book for goals in a season. As East Grand Rapids goes on to beat Marion 22-7 the final. It's the Pioneers' 6th MHSAA Girls Lacrosse State Championship in school history.
I mean, we've had a great season. This has probably been like our most athletic and strongest team we've had. I mean, we've just had such a close bond. I just feel like we prepared so well this season, and this was just the closing on it all. And I'm so happy for us.
These girls took care of business 6 times now. They put over 20 points on all the games. I had to deal with them. I told them if they could score 20 points in every game, I'd do my hair blue, and that's why I'm wearing blue hair. But they are an amazingly cohesive group of players. We've got 5 freshmen, we've got 5 seniors, and a bunch of juniors and sophomores in between. And even though we've got some really older players and younger players, they've melded together amazingly as, of course, the season has progressed. This is probably the best, team I've had in terms of of being good teammates. We've had some great players in the past, but this is the time these players just never got down on each other, always supported each other. You could hear them on the sideline. When anybody scored, they loved it. And for them, it doesn't matter who scores. It just matters that we score.
I'm Gabe O'Neill. In the boys Division II championship game, we had last year's runners-up, the Rangers from Forest Hills Central, playing in their 4th straight title game up against their crosstown rival from Forest Hills Eastern. The Hawks beat the defending champs East Grand Rapids in the semifinals to make it to the big stage for the first time in school history. The Rangers came out with some fire after losing in double overtime last year. Senior captain Luke Majic from behind the net finds an open Carson Dines, who lets off a laser shot that finds the back of the net. The sophomore's goal puts Central up 1-0. Eastern's defense showed up big in the opening quarter, led by senior All-State goalie Brandon Pham, only allowing 2 goals. He makes a big save here on Hayden Sargent's sneaky behind-the-back shot to keep the Rangers at bay. In the second quarter, Central's offense started to click, going on a 5-goal run. A pair of seniors hook up here as Tate Hollick dishes to Majic, who shows off his cannon with the deep shot that skips into the back of the net. Rangers now up 7-0. But Eastern would show some life late in the half. The Hawks' core offensive unit is mostly made up of underclassmen, and they have a lot of potential. Stepping up for his team is Sam Bowen, curling around the net and finishing short side. The sophomore gets Eastern on the board, and they would trail 9-2 at the half. In the second frame, the Rangers kept the pressure on and would continue to impress with their shooting. MSU football commit Hollick plays a little give and go with Kyle Collar, and then rifles one high and true to improve the Ranger lead to 10. He had 5 goals and 4 assists on the day. But Eastern would come right back with a couple goals of their own. Showing no quit is Bowen, once again doing what he does best, backing down his defender, turning and shooting one into the net as he falls into the crease. And then just a minute later in transition, the Hawks do a good job sharing the ball and finding sophomore Kevin Sprague open in front of the net for the rip, and he burns it past the Central keeper. FHE down 14-4 at the end of 3. Forest Hill Central would dominate the rest of the way, shutting down the Hawk offense and adding 6 more goals of their own. Majic, the Furman commit, would have a day with 5 goals and 3 assists, including this on-the-run shot that hits top shelf for one of the final scores of the game. As Forest Hill Central dominates their neighbors from Forest Hills Eastern, 20-4 the final score to secure their first Division II state crown since 2016. This is the Rangers' 4th ever lacrosse state championship.
Yeah, offensively, we knew we would get a little bit staggered at times. Them running a zone kind of slows things down a little bit. But the message was just continue to run the offense, run our rotations, move the ball quickly. We'll get them to rotate in their zone and open things up in the middle. Staying focused, not letting any team come out and push you around. We really felt that if we were going to lose a game this year, that it was going to be because we beat ourselves and no other team was going to beat us.
We really got so many weapons. All of us can shoot, all of us have great vision. The most important thing is we're unselfish. Like, none of us really care about who gets the goals, the assists. We just want to win. After being here for all 4 years, being in the finals, the final game, feels real good to finish the job.
Back inside the State Champ Studios as we transition to Division I. Unquestionably, Michigan high school lacrosse royalty belongs to the King and Queens, Birmingham Brother Ice and Rockford respectively. The Lady Rams beginning their rule in 2013, while the Warriors have known only victory since the sport was sanctioned 14 years ago. For the first time, they were not the defending champions. We start, however, with the girls, a team hoping to reclaim a throne that was once theirs, but that's easier said than done.
This is the second year that Rockford and Brighton went at it in the D1 Girls Lacrosse Final. The Rams looking to win its 7th consecutive state title. They took down Birmingham United to get here. As for Brighton, they edge out their rivals from Heartland in the semis. The Bulldogs in search of its first state crown in 8 years.
The plan, family, and hard work. Hard work. Family, and heart. Let's go. Let's play.
And we picked things up in the early stages of the first half. This would be the senior Isabel Holmes for Rockford putting in one of her 2 goals to start the game. Rams out to a 2-0 lead. Brighton would come right back just 46 seconds later. Audrey Choate beats the defenders and sneaks it by for the goal, and the Bulldogs trailed 2-1. Rockford with the answer. Holmes with the feed to the sophomore Katie Rodriguez, who puts it into the back of the net. Then a few minutes later, it's Rodriguez off the free throw. Rams now up by 3 at 4-1. And the Ram offense was still in high gear. Rodriguez picking up the loose ball and then putting it home for the hat trick. Rockford now in front at 8-2. Brighton would cut into the deficit with 2 goals within a minute. Catherine Kopsha fires it in, and the Bulldogs now down 8-4. Rockford would gain back that 6-goal advantage just moments later. as the sophomore Chloe Dunham nets her second goal in the first half, and the Rams now lead 10-4. There was no quit in Brighton. Sophie Mondro comes around and puts it into the back of the net, and the Bulldogs trail 12-5 as we head into halftime. But Rockford would outscore Brighton 9-1 in the second half, with quick goals and solid goaltending play by Madeline Yates. As Rockford does it again, they beat Brighton 21-6 the final to claim its 7th straight Division I girls lacrosse state title.
Every year it's our objective, and that's 7 in a row and 8 in the last 12 years. So we set a goal early, and our number one goal is to make memories for these kids, and I enjoy these kids so much that I don't want to send them home early, and so we want to play till the last day.
On to the final game in Division I, we had the state's best rivalry between the defending champs from Detroit Catholic Central and the Warriors from Brother Rice. CC ended Rice's 13-year title streak last season by 1 goal, and the Warriors were looking for some revenge in the 6th straight battle between the two teams on the big stage. The Shamrocks got off to a hot start in the first quarter. Striking early would be Detroit Mercy-bound senior Ryan Burney as he sets up his dodge, streaks down the right alley, and finishes high to get his team on the board first to open up the game. But Rice came right back just minutes later. Senior Justin Glod drives hard from behind the net, but his shot is saved by the CC goalie, who then throws an errant pass stolen by junior Pat O'Hara, and he fires quickly into the open net. The Air Force commit ties it up at 1 apiece. With under 2 minutes left in the quarter, CC was in full attack mode. Junior Ryan Sullivan gets the feed from behind, isolates his man, spins and rips a worm burner that would get through for the goal. Shamrocks would net one more and lead 6-2 after the opening quarter of play. Second quarter action. O'Hara netted his third to pull Rice within 3, and they were not letting off the gas. Glod with the quick ball movement to junior DJ Dixon, who takes the time and room step down and picks the bottom corner for his first goal of the game. Warriors down now by 2. And they would keep it rolling, scoring 5 unanswered goals to start the second. Senior midi Dylan Braddock would cap off the run here as he shows you don't have to be big to make your presence felt, bulldodging his defender and ripping it into the back of the net. Rice takes the lead 7-6. Lacrosse is a game of runs, and Catholic Central would return the favor with one of their own, netting 4 straight to finish the half. With time ticking away, it's the Loyola Greyhound commit Joey Kamish fighting off his defender, and the rising shot finds twine with just 6 seconds left. Shamrocks on top 10-7 at the half. It would be a defensive battle in the third quarter with only 3 total goals scored. Rice does a good job on the clear, working it upfield to Dixon, who carries from midfield, blazes past his defender, all the way in for the score. He had a hat trick on the day, and the Warriors were down by 1 at 10-9. Final minute of the third, a big save from CC keeper Jacob Hem, who then sets up the transition game. Some quick ball movement results in LSM Justin Pedohoff feeding who else but Kamish. He puts all the moves on the Rice goalie and finishes to give the Shamrocks the 11-9 lead headed into the final quarter. The Warriors scored a quick 2 to tie it up at 11, but Burney does his thing once again, this time down the left alley and firing high into the back of the net for his 4th goal on the day. Shamrocks up 12-11. Jump ahead with the game tied up at 13 thanks to the efforts of Glod. It's no surprise this one came down to the wire. With 8 seconds on the clock, Glod had one last chance as he brings it back in. The Harvard commit drives around from X, and despite the double team, cranks one with hardly any angle for the game-winning goal. Brother Rice takes back the Division I state crown in an amazing battle against their rivals from Catholic Central, 14-13 the final score. This is the Warriors' 14th state championship and 5th under head coach AJ Chawla.
Yeah, so I saw the ball go, and I immediately kind of went into a shock. I mean, see the ball cross the plane like that, it's special. I mean, I knew that we were tied 13-13, and I knew that I had to do something about it, so I had the ball on the stick with 8 seconds left, and I put it in. It was great. Unbelievable, man. It's the best way to top it off, and I'm just looking forward to watching these guys next year.
I mean, it felt great. I mean, these guys deserved it. More than any team I've ever been a part of, played with, coached, they deserved it. They started work June 10th of last year on their own. The senior leaders, the juniors from last year decided they were going to lead the team. And man, they held captains practices. They went over and above really to get it done. And you're seeing the culmination of that. They had one goal coming into the season, and that was to be undefeated. Normally we say, oh, we want to win the state or the Midwest or the Catholic League. At the end of the day, they had one goal, and it was to go undefeated, and it was realized today.
We hope you enjoyed this year's State Champs coverage of the boys and girls lacrosse state finals. Stay connected with State Champs all summer long by following, liking, and subscribing to our content on your favorite social media platform. For everyone on the State Champs team, I'm Lauren Plant. Thanks for watching.